I'm Shiva.
I'm Sandy.
And this is
Our Relaxing Hobby.
Hello.
Hi.
Tonight's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about plants. Well, aquarium plants anyway.
Aquarium
we'll
plants.
try to stay away from garden plants. That was our last episode.
Yeah. Well, aquarium plants, and you can also use these for pond plants too.
Right. But yeah, well, aquarium pond, whatever.
Yeah, these are
water
basically
plants
fish.
for
These are
fish
good fish-friendly plants.
Fish-friendly plants is our episode today. How about that? That's a good
Yeah,
term.
that works. Now, the one thing that we're going to be focusing a lot on today are plants that your fish are not as likely to eat.
Right.
Because
yes.
that is a big thing with people, and why a lot of people don't like using live plants in their aquariums is because their fish go, woo, salad bar.
Yes,
So,
fish like plants. Just so you know, they eat the plants. Not all of them, and depending on the type of fish.
yeah.
Because I used to have live plants with the guppies, and they never mess with any of my plants.
Until.
Now they like plants. It's your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault apparently
Yes.
that now all of a sudden her guppies eat plants.
Yes, they eat very little bits of plants though, so they're not like the the goldfish.
Yeah.
But-
now there are always going to be some exceptions. Like
Right.
one of the plants we're going to be talking about today, none of my fish mess with except for the koi. They go fishing with it. They try the vines.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
try to pull the vines down off the trellis by their pond, and one of these
And we'll
days
show
they're
you some
going to
video
pull
of
a
that.
trellis down.
But let's start with the easy. Let's start with like bamboo, okay? Because
Bamboo's pretty easy.
bamboo's
That's
pretty
something
easy.
people find.
Most fish don't mess with it.
Okay, this is it's called lucky bamboo.
Yeah.
They're very small. You can get them, they can be grown so they do little hearts and spirals.
Yeah,
and
you can
stuff.
actually grow and train them if you wanted, but as long as at least a couple of inches of it are out of the water, the rest of it can be submerged.
Right.
It does have to have a little bit out to have.
To be able to get
Sunlight, air.
air, whatnot.
So-
Now, sunlight also means like your aquarium light. So if you have live plants in your aquarium, you do need to keep your aquarium light on for at least 8 hours.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
But,
bamboo's are really nice. Most of my fish didn't mess with the bamboo.
I've never had any fish.
Yeah,
mess with
so-
it. The biggest problem I have with bamboo is some of my larger plecos will get off.
Right. My biggest problem with the bamboo is literally the bamboo kept outgrowing my tank.
Yeah, it will
It
get
does
big.
really well in aquarium water.
Oh yeah.
So it literally, I kept bringing pieces over here. Remember, they'd outgrow my tank. I'd bring them over here. She'd give me another small piece. I'd take it back. I'd grow it again. Now that I'm here, I just stopped putting it in my tank, but I really got to start putting it in there again because
Yeah.
the fish don't mess with it, and it's really good for the aeration.
Yeah, I have these actually sitting in my waterfall boxes in the pond. I have them buried in the rocks in the waterfall boxes. And then I also have a few in pots in my aquariums.
Because again, plants are
They-
good for nitrates, whatever
They're
the
part
word
of the
is.
nitrate cycle.
Yeah, so
Basically,
they're good for your fish, but they don't mess
And they
with
also help with the aeration a little
Right.
bit. So basically, the reason why the fish don't go after these quite as much is that the leaves are actually very tough, and the stalk is even tougher.
it. Right.
So there's really not much for the fish to try to eat on these. Now, like with mine, I've got the basically Roomba, my big Rhino crop pleco. She'll bowl right over these.
Right.
I have a lot of these in my ropefish tank because the ropefish love, twirl it. They
Zigzaggy.
love playing in them, and they're sturdy enough where they're not gonna break them. I used to have bushy plants in there, and the ropefish would get in there, and all of a sudden I had a bunch of bushy plants float.
Yeah,
These are more stable, except for they can't handle Roomba. Roomba just runs right over them, so I keep them in corners now.
Right.
You know?
But bamboo is a really good plant for aquariums
Right,
and for
but
ponds.
make sure that you get the type that's called lucky bamboo. Otherwise, bamboo grows very quickly, as she said. But if you get the wrong type of bamboo, you're going to end up with the stuff that really belongs outdoors in the ground.
Yeah, we're not
That
talking about
gets
the
like,
outdoor big tree bamboo. This is called
25
lucky
feet.
bamboo. It's
25
It's an
feet
indoor
tall.
plant.
Yeah. Well, now, where you get bamboo, you've probably seen these in gift shops a lot. You'll see like one or two, or maybe even a bunch of them in a little shallow.
Most fish stores have
Yeah,
it.
but I'm going to tell them the cheap way to do it.
Okay.
But you usually see them, sometimes I've seen them as high as like $8 a plant. There's a cheaper way to do that, especially if you want a lot of them. Don't pay $8 for this. There's no need to.
Right.
If you go on to places that you can do this with, how do I put this? Handmade type of places like Etsy, where you have people who grow these and they do these nice little arrangements with them, and you can get up to 30 of them all together in different sizes in a batch, and they look like a pretty little thing. They're meant to be used as table decorations. All you have to do is add water. You get about 30 of them for about 20 bucks.
Yeah.
So, what's good? What's it going to be? $8 for one of these, or you want 30 of them in different sizes for like 20 bucks? I buy mine in bulk like that all the time. There are several sellers on like Etsy, but you can also just kind of do a Google search. You'll be able to find little small mom and pop places, or individual artisans that do this type of bamboo flower art, and you can usually get an awful lot of these plants really cheap. And then if you don't need all of them, you can always put the smaller ones in a bowl and use them as a table decoration or whatever until they get bigger. These things can get pretty big though. They can get up to about yay.
Yeah, they do. Like I said, we've got some that are so big, and I end up the ones in my last.
You can trim them down.
The one in my last tank I end up giving to a friend of ours, and he has them in his on his back patio, on the entryway there, and they stand on the ground. They probably stand a good 2 foot high.
But
3 foot, maybe?
Yeah, but these things do very well in water.
Yeah, they have to have water.
Yeah, I mean, you can put them in the ground as long as you keep them watered.
Water, yeah, they have to have water.
Yeah, I mean,
but they do great in pond water. Let me tell you, in fish water.
Right.
Amazing.
This one I pulled out of one of my fountain boxes, so it has roots because it's literally been rooting underneath the rocks. So. But sometimes you find them, they have very little root system just because they're kept in a vase. Either way.
Either way works.
Yeah, either way works.
But like I said, for fish, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
That's our first
they
one.
Are great.
Do we want to talk about...
about the Anubis?
Let's talk about the Anubis. The Anubis is a
Anubias.
Anubias, sorry. Yep. The Anubias plant, I call it the Anubis plant. The Anubias plant, I love them. My fish don't mess with them at all, and they grow really well in my fish tanks, but they're slow growers.
Yeah, well, the one thing to remember is that there are several different types of Anubias. The type that we're looking for are the broad-leafed ones with the thick, broad leaves.
Right, they have thick, broad leaves. There's one that has really narrow ones that doesn't do as well in my tank, but... so we can't answer that about how well that one does.
Yeah, you need to look for the ones that have the thick broad leaves, and we'll show you some footage of those. They are slow growers. I mean, I've got plants that I've had offsprings of for the last 6 or 7 years.
Right.
But they're nice because you can put them in ornaments. I have like some in my Odin ornament.
Right.
And then I also have some on the driftwood in the angelfish tank that I just plopped in there and let the roots wrap around the.
And they're slow growers, but the fish don't seem, none of our fish seem to eat them.
No, I've never had any fish eat them. I mean, I've even had them in my original ones I had in my goldfish pond. The goldfish didn't eat them.
So yeah, they're just really good. Remember the Anubias with the larger leaves.
Yeah, with the larger.
And we'll get you some video of those, but those are really nice and pretty. They're very attractive.
And you can also get them. You can fish stores actually sell them already embedded in the driftwood, but honestly, you can do that yourself.
Yeah, it does do it. They have the roots are really thick and strong, and it takes a couple weeks, but they will attach themselves.
A couple months, but it will attach. Yeah.
Well, weeks, months. Yeah, I just put it on top of mine. And
you have no sense of time.
No, because I lose track of time.
Yeah,
but
2 minutes ago it was.
2 minutes ago, yeah. But no, because mine haven't even made babies yet.
Yeah,
I don't know how plants do that.
But mine have been like 6 years old, and I've broken them off and put them in different places.
Yeah. But no, mine's. I've had the same plant for. It's bushier, so I'm guessing that's by the. Procreating. But because I don't know how any of that works with plants. Sorry, I'm not going to get into that. But mine does really well. I've never had any problems with it, so I really do enjoy that because the fish don't eat it.
Right.
So we're mainly talking about things that can survive our fish.
Right, because basically if you're putting plants in, they look pretty, but if your fish eat them, you might start getting fed up with it and just like, I'm not going to buy these plants anymore. If you buy ones,
plants are good for the fish. Plants are good for the ecosystem of the aeration and the nitrates and the nitrates and the whatever the things they are that I'm sure that everybody's going to talk about later, Mr. Captions. But
basically, they help suck the bad stuff out, and then they also help aerate the water because plants emit oxygen.
Right.
So that's how that works.
That's our second brand of favorite plant, and then our
number one favorite. And there's a story behind it too.
Yes.
Our number one favorite is called Devil's Ivy.
Devil's Ivy, and that's not the official name of it, but that's what everybody calls it for the most part. You can Google it on Facebook, or Google it everywhere, not Facebook.
Yes, if you Google Devil's Ivy, you'll be able to find the scientific name behind this.
How pretty they are.
But they're distinctive because they have like these two-tone leaves. They look like somebody splattered paint on them.
They're beautiful.
And if you can see here on top of here, all these are roots. They just kind of sprout out roots like an octopus.
Yeah.
So all you need is like a small cutting like this, and it will grow.
A lot.
Now, these are great for both aquariums and ponds. They are what I guess I call them super suckers when it comes to getting the bad stuff out of your water.
Right.
They grow like crazy. They can grow indoors, they can grow outdoors, they can grow shade, they can grow in the sun. I have these in all of my ponds.
Yep, we have in all the fish tanks pretty much.
Most of the fish tanks.
Well, yeah.
I have
That's
them,
pretty much.
Yeah. I have these in all of my ponds. All I do is I take something like this, I stick the end of it in the water, hang the outside of it on
And
the
again, it does
trellis.
have, now where the Anubias doesn't have to be out of the water, these do have to have a little bit out of the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically just stick them or hang them off the edge of your aquarium or whatever.
Because these are an outside plant, by the way. These are
now
these are crazy growing outside plants.
They're a vine, is what they are.
It's a vine, yeah, and they grow everywhere in Florida. I don't know where you live, but they grow everywhere in Florida.
It was actually really funny because I was looking for new plants that would work for helping out with my ecosystem in my ponds, and somebody had mentioned devil's ivy. And Gareth was starting to look it up to see if he could find a plant store or nursery that had it. And I said, isn't that the stuff that's growing all over our front yard? So we literally had like this whole sea of devil's ivy that was growing wild right outside our yard. So we just grabbed a few cuttings and now we've got it all over the inside of our house.
Yeah, and it's great for
But
those.
the
fish don't actually eat it. Well, 85%.
85% of our fish don't eat it.
Yeah.
Now, you can get this at anywhere that sells plants.
Right.
It's very common.
It is a vine. It is not very expensive.
Yeah, a lot of people
but again,
use it in baskets and have it drip down like this.
Right.
You can see right here how these are all roots, but they're great at grabbing and attaching to things.
Yeah.
So you can actually see the stuff growing at the side of wood houses. It catches lattice work. It's really great for, as a climbing vine. Now the problem that I have with these is that I have latticework pieces on my wall near my koi pond, and these things keep growing, and then they'll start drooping as they get heavy, and my asshole koi will jump up and try to.
Don't try. They don't try. They grab it.
They grab it,
and then once it goes into the water, they don't actually eat it. They just
tear it up.
They just tear it up. They don't actually eat the pieces are floating around.
Yeah, they tear it up.
They just tear it up for fun because they're assholes.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to pull the latticework down.
Yeah,
one of these days.
I was sitting here the other day and I'm watching the latticework and the whole big pile of vines move. And again, it's behind us, behind the camera.
Yeah.
And we weren't on the camera. We were just talking. And I was like, oh shit! And I got up and I grabbed the vine out of the water where they were pulling it, and they were literally the whole latticework was moving because they were like, okay, we gotta hold this one. It's hooked in there good. We can pull the whole thing down. One of these days, we're gonna come out here and the latticework is gonna be pulled down. I can see it now because they're assholes.
Now, a nice arts and crafts project that I can tell you about that I use this for is when I make the trees, like I do for the ropefish.
Okay. Right.
What I did was I got some weighted wood that you use for aquarium decorations, and then I just took some plastic ties, and I started attaching this to the wood, and just kind of let it act like a tree. And it's in my ropefish tank. You'll see that, and as it grows and it multiplies, it looks like a really neat tree decoration. My ropefish love it. They love getting up in here and playing in it, and it's doing a great job of keeping their water, levels nice.
Yeah.
So
those are our 3 favorite types of plant.
Yeah.
Now, if you have any kind of plants that you like that do well with your fish, let us know. Like, subscribe, comment, share below. We'd love to hear about it.
Seriously,
that was Roomba messing with.
That was Roomba saying, "Give me that plant."
Roomba wants the plant back. She probably just wants her power back on, so she has light and everything in air. But there are also many other different kinds of plants, and if you use any in your fish tanks, please let us know.
Yeah.
There are those bushy, ferny type plants that the fish just tear up.
Yeah, we call that salad.
That's called salad. Yeah, she grows it for salad.
I grow that wild outside in one of my plant ponds and give it to my fish on about once every couple
weeks. It's literally
weeks.
called salad because they literally tear it up.
Well, it's not literally called salad. That's just what we call it.
Well, in this house, I meant
salad day.
Yeah, in this house it's called salad. They're really pretty. They look beautiful. It's this ferny looking
They
plant.
last about 2 minutes.
In my tank, they used to last until apparently somebody taught the guppies that it's good. It takes them a lot longer to tear it up, but they do tear it up.
Yeah.
And the cories tear it up, and the plecos tear it up. So yeah, we stopped using that except for treat food.
Yeah.
But if you have any plants that you use that you know do well with the fish, by all means let us know.
Now there's one more plant.
Oh,
there is one more plant, and this is mostly for outdoor ponds.
Oh.
And there's a warning to it.
Oh. You're talking about that.
Yes, I'm talking about that. If you want a really pretty plant that will float on water and will look beautiful and your koi will not eat, they won't eat what is called floating hyanthus. And the hyacinth,
I brought that over here as a kind of a joke once.
Yeah,
I brought 2 of them over to you as a joke. My landlord had them, and I brought them over, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful.
They reproduce
Beautiful.
like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, she only brought me 2. I now have hundreds.
Yes, we have to literally take them.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out why my landlord was throwing them away, and now we know why.
But they have these really pretty purple flowers that bloom during the summer. They're gorgeous for a pond. Plants, some of your fish might nibble on the roots, but they won't kill them, which is beautiful. You know,
Right.
you pull them up and you'll see these short little roots instead of these long draggy ones, but they don't care.
Yeah, go ahead and give them the disclaimer.
Yeah, now here's the disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Don't put this in if you have a gender mix of fish and don't want more fish.
Yeah, well, we're talking called goldfish and koi.
Goldfish and koi. Basically, what happened is we thought that they were so lovely and we have so much light in this room, we thought, hey, why don't we throw some of the hyacinth in our pond here?
Let's see how the koi like them.
Let's see how the koi like them. Well, the koi loved them.
The koi started breeding frenzy with the koi.
Yeah,
because they were
and the
cool
next-
places to hang their eggs.
So next morning I come out here and all of them, all the roots and the leaves are covered with koi eggs, and I'm jumping in the koi pond trying to get rid of them as much as possible because I don't need 2 billion koi. And of course we missed a few eggs, but
Yeah, keep in the back of your mind,
Yeah,
plants
so-
in a pond for koi and goldfish represent a good breeding.
right. So
Ground.
one thing that I'm doing with the new koi pond that I'm working on right now is I'm doing a sump area. And that is an outside area that the fish cannot get to.
And
that
that's-
water
that's-
can go through, but
and that's where the
fish
hyacinth
can't.
will be.
And the hyacinth will be over on
Looking
that
pretty
side.
in that little corner.
Yes, the hyacinth will be hiding the pump. You know?
They're not going to be with the fish. Not
Yeah.
until we're ready to breed, and even then, we're not going to do that till
Yeah, that's gonna
separate
be wild.
location. But no,
And
they
we're
are.
going to choose which fish get to
And
play.
they
you
are
know?
they are beautiful. Like, comment, subscribe, share below. Buy things from our store. This is one of
Yeah.
the shirts. Which shirt do I have on today?
You have panic, peace, love, and koi.
Peace, love, and koi.
And I've got. Do I look like a fucking minnow?
Yeah,
No balls.
because again, we are still trying to make koi rana. So if you
Yes,
buy
we
some
are.
stuff for us, it will help. Buy some stuff from our store. We'd love it. And again, if you have any questions, like, subscribe, comment, share below.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other plants out there that they're going to be telling us all about.
Oh, yeah,
and we'd
sure.
love to hear about them.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're all up for trying different plants to see how they work with our fish.
Yeah, this is true.
So.
All right.
Have a good evening.
All right. Bye.